like everything about basketball is the friendships that I've made within my team and the club.
I like the physicality and the intensity of the game.
I love to play and run around with my friends.
One day I'd like to play for the Ovals.
My dream is to play in the WNBL.
I'd love to play for the Melbourne Boomers.
I love basketball!
Great basket. Who wants it?
Love the play.
Towns will hang on. She rarely misses those. Skip move and lays it up. How good was that?
Melbourne, the sporting capital of the world, one of a number of cities last year shut out of the WNBL with a hub format up in North Queensland. The competition returns after 50 long weeks of a layoff, and it starts with the defending champions, the Southside Flyers, Liz Cambage-Less, up against the Bendigo Spirit to get us going for the new year in the WNBL. My name's Corbin Middlemass, Laurie Chiswick on hand, championship winning coach. Laurie, it's been 50 weeks and at the same time, feels like we were just here. All of a sudden, the WNBL's back on your screens.
Can you believe that we're finally here? The teams have had a long preseason, which is fantastic, something they didn't have last year. The coaches are ready, the players are ready. We're back in front of fans, the commentators are ready, and I can't wait to see these elite women basketballers show their stuff this afternoon.
So no Liz Cambage for the Southside Flyers, but they are the defending champions up against the Bendigo Spirit, who didn't win a game last season through 13 starts. They have bulked up a little bit in the off-season. We'll get to them momentarily, but first of all, the defending champs, Laurie, how do they look?
Well, we can see their starting lineup is, even though they've lost a couple of players, it is so potent. They can score, they can run, they can defend. And the big thing about the Flyers is their depth. If you look at that bench, my goodness, some of those players would be starting in other clubs. So certainly they're the team to watch. So
there's no Leilani Mitchell. They replace her with Maddie Rochi, who's a 24-year-old point guard in her prime. So what a replacement. And Bishop obviously making her return as well. The Bendigo Spirit, there's the number 5. Leilani Mitchell has crossed town to join the Spirit.
Well, Tracy York has done an amazing job of recruiting in that off-season. They didn't win a game last year, and she is making absolutely sure that that doesn't happen again this year. Big names, we can see that really Tessa Levy is the only one in the starting lineup that played last year. Again, their bench is maybe a little bit thin, but that won't matter to them today. They're going to be raring to go.
COVID interruptions last year, of course, amid the pandemic. This year, 100% vaccination rate among all the players, staff, officials and administrators. So fingers crossed the competition goes off without a hitch, albeit a delayed start for the Perth Lynx. Now, the third member of our team, of course, she's just Mrs. Basketball herself. She's across everything that's going on inside the WNBL. Megan Huswaite is with us, courtside at Dandenong Stadium. Megan, it's great to be back, isn't it?
It is so great to be back, guys, and Dandenong Stadium is pumping. The Southside Flyers fans very happy to be back here watching their team in action. Now, both teams will be down a rotation today. For the Flyers, Rachel Jarry won't be suiting up. She's got a back complaint, and for the Spirit, Demi Skinner has an adductor injury and has also had a blood clot, so that's a bit of a blow for the Spirit. But the crowd got into things earlier with the unfurling of the 2020 Hub Championship. The owner of the Southside Flyers, Jerry Ryan, was part of that presentation. The home crowd really enjoyed it. They'll be hoping that the Flyers can do it again this season.
We have a garment fit bit in what we're calling our Vodafone quiz. Now, when the quiz comes up,
Megan will come back to you throughout the broadcast. Just moments away now from tip-off, the Southside Flyers and the Bendigo Spirit. I mentioned Liz Cambage as part of the opener. It is a significant loss in the competition. Obviously, someone as high profile as Liz, Laurie Chiswick, but they do get Abby Bishop in as someone who's a big that can try and fill that role in the Southside lineup.
Well, the thing about Abby is she is just so experienced. So she has been around this competition. We haven't seen her for a few years in the WNBL, but we know her expertise. She's an ex-Opal player. She's played in Europe, and she will bring that to the Southside Flyers, that replacement. She can draw defenders out so that they have to, you know, engage her and be able to drive it in. So let's keep an eye on her this game.
So we take a look again at that Bendigo starting 5. So I guess the new faces for Bendigo, Annalee Maley's come across from the Sydney Uni Flames. She is the league-leading rebounder last year. She led that category by 3 as well, so averaged 12 rebounds at the end of the season. Leilani Mitchell really needs no introduction. 12 years now with the Washington Mystics and the WNBA, so such an absolute pro, back from an Olympic campaign. And Maddie Garrick, of course, making the switch back to Bendigo. She was part of their championship winning team a few years back now, but they've gone 6 years without a playoff run. And they're trying to change that this year under Tracy York. And the Southside Flyers, since the name change, Megan mentioned Jerry Ryan, their owner, who came in, changed the colours, changed the name. The Dandenong Rangers of old. They are the defending champions, and the new season of the WNBL is upon us. And the ball is going to end up in the hands of Jenna O'Hay, where it finished at the end of last season. So first touch going the way of the Flyers, and an early turnover. Back down the court, Maley puts up the layup, doesn't go, and Bishop pulls down an early board for a new side.
Corbin, I would expect a little bit of nerves. Maybe it's excitement from both of the teams, having not played for so long, this competitive nature, this, you know, just the start of the season and the expectations. So let's be a little bit patient with them if there's a few turnovers early.
Shot misses from Sarah Blitzer. It's a couple of attempts to try and get the first points of the new season. Rochi on the inbound. Back to Bishop. Around the horn they go. O'Hay to Cole. Dumps it back down low. Spin move from Bishop. Shot up and it's good. So welcome back to the league, and the first points of the new season go the way of Abby Bishop, the 33-year-old vet.
That's just a classic Bishop move. She's a really great finisher, has great hands around the basket. I'm sure we'll see a lot of that this afternoon. Garrick
lets it fly. No good. Trying to get some points for Bendigo. So the Spirit in the yellow with the navy trim for new fans, and of course in the aqua, the familiar colours for the Southside Flyers. A turnover. Maley dumps it down low. A post move, trying to get the shot up, bounces off the rim, and it's no good. And the rebound taken by Bishop. Here's Rochi in her new colours, pulls up for a deep 2. It doesn't go.
That's a matchup, Corbin, that I'm really interested in. Leilani Mitchell and Maddie Rochi. Let's keep an eye on those all night. Sort of like the master and the apprentice.
Lavey to McKay. McKay the handoff to Mitchell. Jacks the 3, no good. And Bishop pulls it down, touched on the way through. Nice hand on it from the experienced Lavey. Now she pulls up the 2 of her own and starts the scoring for the Spirit.
Tessa Lavey's going to have another big role to play with the Spirit this year. She certainly last year dominated in the scoring for her team, and she's going to have to keep that going this season as well.
Here's Bet Cole, a big grand final performance, coming off 22 points against the Fire. Megan McKay, for what it's worth, played in that game for Townsville. Now out there for Bendigo. In the passing lane, Tessa Lavey runs the length of the floor and lays it in for an easy basket. And an early lead change. Bendigo 4, Southside 2.
That's what I was talking about. Just a little bit of nerves right now. Just not sure of... They just need to get into the flow of the game.
Here's Jenna O'Hay, spin move, shot up. Needs the roll, doesn't get it. McKay all over the rebound. That's exactly what she'll bring to this Bendigo team. Here's Garrick. Through to Leilani Mitchell. Lays it up, doesn't go, and Bishop again on the rebound.
Megan McKay certainly has the height advantage, and so it'll be interesting to see if Bendigo look to get it inside to her a bit. But wasn't that a nice finish?
Bet Cole off the glass. First points for her in the new season. The feeling out process, first 3 minutes. It's well forecast by Laurie Chiswick. Just temper expectations. It's been a long layoff, 50 weeks without play for some of these women. Obviously, there's a few names you'll recognise from the Tokyo Games who had some duties there for the Opals. One of them, Tessa Lavey, trying to reel it back in at a foot on the baseline. Southside ball.
The other thing, Corbin, is they haven't played in front of fans for a long time. So just to have the home crowd there, cheering them on. I'm sure there's a lot of Bendigo supporters that made the trip up to Melbourne to just watch this game, and it's fantastic to see.
It's great to see the stands full. I mean, it's always a great game day experience at Dandenong Stadium. The other thing for the teams as well, foul called here off the ball, and it's going on Maddie Rochi, so offensive foul call. Brocci was the one that actually ended up on the hardwood, and yet it's Bendigo ball. Shots at the stands here. So the other thing is, Laurie, as well, that the stadiums and the clubs themselves haven't had this experience for 2 years of actually putting on an event which isn't an easy logistical sort of operation. As Bogue down low lays it up, so off the bench, an early touch.
Great pass by Leilani Mitchell. Great vision, as we know she has. She can either score herself or facilitate for her teammates, and that's exactly what she just did.
First touch of the basketball, first points for Carly Bogue in her new colours. Blitzards jacks the three, that's good.
Sarah's such an instinctive player, and that'll really help her confidence to nail that first three-point shot.
Bogue trying to catch fire early, and that's exactly what she does.
Little match. If you can do it, I can do it as well.
Carly Bogue across from the Sydney Uni Flames. 2 touches of the basketball, and both of them good for her first 2 attempts, 2 makes. Sarah Blitzards at the other end, doesn't go. And there's Annalie Maley just picking up where she left off with an early board. High up tempo, Bogue good again. Carly Bogue, 3 straight makes and 1 to come at the line.
Well, that's exactly what you want with the big players, to run right to the point of the rim as she did. And she just got a little bit ahead of Abby Bishop, so finished it strongly under physicality.
Well, we both spoke to the coaches in Cheryl Chambers for the Flyers and Tracy York for the Spirit. And I found in my chats anyway, the familiar theme was they both want to play fast and quick this year. Obviously, the Flyers had a different look last year with obviously Liz Cambage, which means you sort of can't play that same sort of up-tempo style for the full 40 minutes as the N1 shot misses.
We can see Amy Rocci on court now, Nee Clydesdale. She got married in the off-season.
Here's Bishop for a deep 2, rims out. Bounce pass in the low block, and there's Bogue again for 2 more.
I went out and watched these 2 teams play in a practice match, and one of the notes I made about Carly Bogue was that she really works hard to make position with her body nice and early, and we saw that exact example of that last play phase.
Megan touched on the absence of Demi Skinner in the opener. Turnaround jump shot, no good from Bishop. Bogue getting some minutes early for Bendigo, so they lose someone in that 4 spot. Here's Maley starting in that position. Bogue caught for a walk. A hot start for Carly Bogue, who really was a rotation piece last year for the Flames. Has been able to really catch fire in the opening 5 minutes here with what 4 straight makes to start the new season. 9 points for her already.
And it's always great when you come to a new club and you can make an impact early, as she has in this game.
Foul, Mary, your foul. Number 2, pushing foul. Heel. 15 on the shot.
This is where I think Bendigo, they're going a little bit smaller. So in the 4 spot, you've probably got Annalie Maley, but boy, are they quick.
Here's Beck Cole, so neat 2, uncontested. She doesn't miss many of those, Laurie Chiswick.
Now, Beck Cole, as we know, had a sensational season last year and would be really looking to continue on this season.
Garrett creates her own shot, and that's good. Maddie Garrett, some points for her new team. New team for the first time in 6 seasons, of course. As I mentioned, in the opener championship winner with Bendigo, and Beck Cole. That's long range, drops down a 3.
Well, I remember distinctly her doing that a few times last year where she looks like she's going to drive, and we know what a fierce competitor is when she drives, and then just a little step back 3. Wow, great job, Beck Cole.
Goal. 16's on the shot is correct.
Shot the 3 last year at 54%.
Which is something over her career. She's never been known as a 3-point shooter. So to add that, I think she had to when she was playing the 3x3.
There's Bogue again, misses from in close. O'Hay contests the shot. Here's Levy. Step back, jumper, skims off the rim. Out it goes, Flyers ball.
I'm watching.
3-point spread. So the Spirit hanging with the defending champs here.
Amy, somebody from here can't run.
Tessa Levy certainly has a busy schedule ahead of her with the WNBL season and then the AFLW starting in January. She says she's up for it, though.
It'll be fascinating to see how that works and how it's all going to play out as to who gets her availability. When there's sort of scheduling clashes and 2 games on the same weekend, it's going to be a hell of a workload. Tessa Levy contracted with the Richmond Football Club in the AFLW, and of course an Opal, one of the leading players in Australian basketball.
We see Kate Gaze has checked into the game, and talking to Cheryl, she said Kate's just really enjoying being back in Melbourne and playing. She'll be playing in front of family today and really lighting it up.
Amy Rocci lays it home for 2. As Laurie touched on, married over the off-season, so formerly Amy Clydesdale. Christy Wallace also out on the floor as well. There was a precociously talented junior. Annalie Maley makes her way to the rack, draws contact, and she'll head to the line.
One guard aside. Sub.
I think for her stature, she's so tough and happy to work her way through contact, as we saw again there.
Well, I think she just, Abby Bishop was just out of her stance, so she was standing a little bit upright, and Maley took advantage of that, went hard to the basket. Really good finish.
Up-tempo, high-octane start to the new season. The extra's good at the foul line, so full-court trap on here for the Spirit. Early advance to O'Hay in the easy basket. Closes the gap to 1 possession. Megan Huswaite, courtside.
Well, Laurie was talking about the depth that the Flyers have got off the bench. Christy Wallace is one of those players who is back in action after 2 years with knee injuries. Of course, part of that FIBA Asia Cup bronze medal winning team. Great to see her back in the WNBL.
4 points for Jenna O'Hay as well. Back-to-back baskets, locks it up. 18 points apiece, 2 to play in the first.
Megan, she's so fun to watch. Christy Wallace, she's light on her feet, she's athletic, she goes hard after everything, both ends of the court. I just hope she has a great season and can, you know, not have any injuries and really have an input.
Gee, the game's so cruel at times, isn't it? Think sort of drafted in the WNBA, great college career, and then back-to-back ACLs, and nice to see her work her way through all of that to make it onto a WNBL roster as Maley drives to the basket, no foul. And the Flyers back the other way. Amy Rocci down low, Jenna O'Hay, 3 straight baskets.
What a great connection that was. Good court vision. Jenna caught the ball, ready to score.
Momentum all of a sudden with the Flyers. The defending champs banking front. 3rd lead change of the game. McKay with the handoff. Goulding puts the shot up, no good. McKay pulls it down. Maley free under the bucket, that's good. A hot minute left in this opening term. First quarter of the new season. O'Hay tests her shooting stroke, misses, and great offensive board. Sarah Blitzarves with strength in the putback.
She made that look easy, but that was a tough shot because she was really behind the basket.
Maley at the other end, that misses. So again, no points down the floor. They did lead the game 18-14, the Bendigo Spirit, so you can do the math in that time. 8-2 the run in Southside's favour. The Flyers throw it away.
Go.
We'll see what Bendigo run. They're running a flex offense, and I think they're still sort of trying to get used to it and get the rhythm of it.
Here's Levy to the basket, draws the defender. Goulding for 3, misses the open look in the corner. Last touch
I don't believe it was a foul.
off.
2.
A good job for Bendigo, and out it goes over the baseline, so Flyers ball. Saw the shot of the mascot moments ago. I think it's fair to say, Laurie, first game in 2 years for the mascot as well. Bottom of your screen. Oh, I can't remember seeing her in the hub last year.
No.
A couple of sloppy turnovers here late in the quarter. Here's Tracy York, coach the Bendigo Spirit, back for a new season. The shot goes up. Garrick misses the long-range three. Now a foul. Coaching on Wallace.
That wasn't a bad foul, to be honest, in that she doesn't send her to the line. They now have 6 seconds to score.
Here's Cassidy McLean, who subs on for Maddie Garrick, who's played majority of that opening quarter. Back in Bendigo after 6 years with the Boomers. Trying to get the last shot up. O'Hay puts up a flat jumper, gets the shooter's roll as the board lights up. And that'll do us through one. Jenna O'Hay leading a comeback in that opening term for the defending champs, the Southside Flyers. She ends up with 8 points in the opening term. And the Flyers are in front as we head into the quarter break. It's Southside 24, Bendigo 20, 1 quarter down in the new season.
To everyone who said we're not strong enough, not fast enough, wrong. We're crossover queens, scoring buckets, taking names and hitting no-look threes. We fight for every ball. Until we dunk, hell yeah. When we roll into the court with nothing to lose and everything to prove, you're in for a show. She got style, she got balls, she got belief, she got game.
Four lead changes in that opening quarter, an entertaining turn to start proceeding to the new season after a 50-week layoff. We're back in the WNBL. The Southside Flyers, the defending champs, up 4-24 over the Bendigo Spirit 20.
You still got to get out. Just passing the ball side with me. You're coming off that handoff.
Yeah, but we've got to make sure we're set up in the right spots, okay? So we'll go with that on the first play, all right? I still need people on those rebounds, all right? So make sure we're getting on. Down here, they're popping out. They're only about foul line height for those boards. Make sure you clean it up.
Be really physical on the ball side. Just kicking it around.
I've asked Meg to turn around and come up and do some punch screens, yeah?
Tracy York, the coach. The other voice you could hear was Tessa Lavey, the floor general for the Bendigo Spirit. Championship coach Laurie Chiswick with me. Laurie, what did you make of that opening term?
Actually, after the first few minutes when there were a few little messy turnovers, I thought that both teams really settled into the game well and executed some things offensively. Jenna O'Hay, who we see on screen, she came off the bench and really dominated. 8 points in that first quarter coming off the bench. So, but really even battle. I'm impressed with Bendigo, how they're being disciplined at this stage. Let's see what happens this next half.
Southside shooting the ball at over 50%. Bendigo just under 40. There's Maddie Rocci through to Sarah Bledsoe. The lane opened up for her. Lays it home.
That was a real breakdown in defense, which you certainly don't want to start a quarter.
All of a sudden, a 6-point spread. I think that's as wide as it's been. The Flyers' way so far through the first quarter and opening second to this second term. Lavey trying to do something about that. Out to McLean, puts up the three. Misfires. Cole comes up with it. 4 lead changes in that opening quarter. Ooh, loose handle from Cole. Ref says it's all okay. Driving to the basket. O'Hay misses. Left-handed layup, no good.
Oh. She was wide open. Give her the ball.
McKay calling for it under the basket. That was ignored. Shot goes up at the other end and Cole off target. So a few errors to start this second term.
Yeah, Bendigo really dodged a bullet. They really should have scored there, and luckily for them, Southside Flyers came back and didn't make that basket.
Here's McKay, called for the travel. Took off, a little slow to get the ball on the hardwood. And we got 3 subs already to start the first minute 10 of the second quarter as the bench clears, and there's a reason for that. There's an early timeout that's been called, so 26-20.
Well, I think Tracy would have the expectation that she's had a chat at the quarter time, that she needs to, you know, they need to follow it. Let's listen to see what Cheryl Chambers has to say. Well, we don't have audio from her, but I'm sure she would be happy with the start of this quarter.
Let's go. Southside. It's a weird timeout for her, isn't it? Why would she call that timeout? I don't understand.
So Megan Huswaite is sitting right alongside Cheryl Chambers, who we picked up some of the audio there on the back end after the timeout called by Tracy York. Megan.
Well, Cheryl was really happy with the effort on the board so far. Very relaxed as usual. She just told her players to take a deep breath, go for it. Had a bit of a chuckle as well, and seems to be happy days down here on the Flyers bench.
Well, I think Tracy would have called that timeout because she wasn't happy with the start of the quarter. And you know how powerful the Southside Flyers are, that they can blow out a lead really quickly. And she, I think, just was trying to make sure she stemmed the flow straight away. Now we see Leilani Mitchell come up with a foul, which isn't ideal.
Scored 12 of the last 14 points, Laurie, the Southside Flyers. So Bendigo led this game 18-14. Just the one basket since. Jenna O'Hay with 8 points late in the term. Here's Sarah Blitzarves again, easily making her way to the rack. 2 more. Blitzarves up to 9 points. Equal leading scorer on the floor along with Carly Bogue. Garrick to Bogue, back to Garrick. Up top for 3, tough shot, doesn't go.
I think what Bendigo were doing well to begin with was getting the ball through a bit more hands, getting a reversal, shifting the defense. Right now it seems to be pretty one-pass stop. I've got to try and score. So I think they need to change that, and they really need to refocus defensively. Southside's baskets are just coming too easily.
Emily Harmon on the floor for her first minutes. Number 22 at the top of your screen. This is Blitzarves. Away to Maddie Rocci. Bounce pass down to Blitzarves. Shot up, it's good. She's into double digits.
Good recognition. The Bendigo Spirit switched on that, so there was a big mismatch and a good look inside.
Blitzarves up to 11 points. The lead's out to 10. Megan Huswaite courtside.
We mentioned Emily Whittle-Harmon. She's playing her first minutes of her WNBL career. A great story of persistence, having played in the NBL 1 and Siebel for a long time. She finally gets her opportunity in the WNBL.
Beck Cole in transition. Easy basket for her. So all of a sudden, alarm bells will be going off. Laurie Chiswick on the Spirit bench. It's a 12-point spread. The defending champs starting to take over.
Well, whilst we talked about at the beginning, both teams want to play quickly. Playing fast certainly suits Southside, and it really doesn't suit Bendigo. They need to grind it out. They need to look and really stick to their advantages, get it inside. It's a nice little basket, nice finish by Annalie Maley.
Back to 10 points. Here's Amy Rocci, shot blocked. Bogue with the stop defensively.
Again, that was a good block, but that was just too easy. That driving lane was just too easy. They've got to start clogging that up and rotating a little bit quicker so that they don't find that driving lane right to the basket.
Would we like to go another one? Anybody?
Amy Rocci sits down.
Right. Ready we are, Elliot.
As we mentioned earlier, marrying Christian Rocci in the off-season, the older brother of Maddie Rocci, who our hardcore fans, well, not even the hardcore fans, casual fans will know of the WNBL. The star players for the Canberra Capitals in recent seasons, now in the new singlet there for the Southside Flyers. It's a handy replacement, isn't it, when Leilani Mitchell walks out to think that Maddie Rocci's able to come in and fill a spot in the backcourt.
And I love the way that Maddie Rocci plays. She's really gritty. Defensively, she can get over the on-ball screen. She goes hard. She's got a high IQ, and her work rate is great.
Blitzarves with the Euro step. Draws the foul from McKay. We loved Megan McKay's season last year. He picks up the foul there. She was excellent for the Townsville Fire on their run to the grand final. It's her first season in the league, and now makes the switch to Bendigo this season, the 24-year-old.
I think that's the thing. When you have your first time in the league, opposition don't really know you, and she did a great job under Shannon Seabaum, but now it's her second year. People have an idea how she plays. She'll be guarded more closely, and it's a real steep learning curve for these young players.
Sarah Blitzov sits down, and boy, does she deserve that rest. She's up to 13 points. Leader in the game so far. And the lead's back to 12, an equal game high. She had a breakout, say, tournament or season last year in the hub. Sarah Blitzov have ultimately made her way onto the Opal squad with Cambasia's withdrawal, trip to Tokyo, and a basket back the other way for Mary Goulding. Rochi to Cole around the pick from Bishop, pulls up. That's a good shot for three.
You can't go under a screen. She's just made one in the first quarter by going under. You've got to try and get over that. You've got to carry a hand. We can see here Mary Goulding gets caught in that screen, and she's just left wide open.
13 points, new game high. McKay, nice pass through to Garrett. Reverse layup misses. There's a foul though called.
That's just the craftiness of Annalie Maley. On the flight of the ball, she's in there. She's just like a magnet for the ball. You can see her here. So she couldn't be blocked out, and the foul was called. She's just got a great knack for rebounding. I'd really like to see Leilani Mitchell get more involved in this game. She's been pretty quiet so far, and they really need her out there.
Here she is up top. Oh, loose pass down to the corner. Garrett can't reel it in. Out it goes.
Having said that, Maddie Rochi was wearing her like a glove in that possession, so she's got her work cut out for her.
Here is Rochi on the back of averaging 16 points in the comp last year in the Capitals playoff run. Shot goes up from Harmon, misses. Goulding with a long rebound. Heaves it up the floor, Leilani Mitchell. Bounce pass through to Maley. Draws a defender, shot up, and it's good. So Maley up to 9 points. Deficit closes to 11 midway through the second term. Beck Cole for three more off the front of the rim. And out it goes. She pointed out earlier, Laurie just made a habit of that, Beck Cole, at creating her own shot on the perimeter and with great efficiency. Had the best percentage last year of anyone in the league to have taken more than 15 three-point attempts at 54%.
And who would have thought that with Beck Cole? Because she just is known to be a driver and be able to get herself to the basket with such efficiency. So it's great to see that she's added that to her game and added it very well, I might add.
Long inbounds, dangerous. And a touch on it from Maddie Rochi. Wins possession back ultimately for the Flyers. Here's Kate Gaze to Maddie Rochi. Slick pass through to Bishop. Spin move, and that's good. Great team basketball for the Southside Flyers.
Well, it's great recognition of what the defense is giving you and changing sides and Abby Bishop rolling and being a presence inside.
Here's Mitchell, throws it out to Levy. Clean look at the three, it's off target. Those three players mentioned this passage here. So Gaze, Maddie Rochi, Bishop. Great team basketball. Three new faces. They're not returning players or championship members of the Flyers. Three newbies all involved.
That's right.
Cheryl Chambers saying during the week that it's actually surprised her how quickly they've been able to gel as a unit with a number of new faces coming in. Ball movement again here. A leap. The shot up from Wallace doesn't go. Bishop back to Wallace. Two more. They're never out of it, the Flyers, and a timeout called by Tracy York. The Southside Flyers continue to balloon out that game-high margin. It's now at 15 points, 41-26, and Tracy York wants to talk it over. Gee, they're playing some really nice early season ball, the Southside Flyers.
Let's have a go at
You've got Maley now.
I think it might have been your neck now, okay? You guys don't know on that last one? but make sure we're staying together defensively. Any screen by Abby up here, get your bodies over the top. If we're under ball pressure, Tessa, you have to come up and help with the ball. All right? You come up the floor.
Hey, it's just 3 shots in a row.
Already be up the floor with her. Hey, offensively, let's run the squeeze again. All right, so Meg, you're coming up and getting the catch. Mary, you back door. Lay's here, Tessa, you're coming on. All right? Okay, here we go. Let's get stops now, guys. Stops.
They led this game on a couple of different occasions, the Bendigo Spirit in the opening term, but now find themselves down by 15. Now, the other interesting backdrop to all of this season of the WNBL is the Women's Basketball World Cup, which is going to be played next year in Australia throughout August and September. So first time in 27 years, 12 teams, 144 of the world's best players, 38 games across 10 days in Sydney. More information you can check out womensworldcup.basketball. In our own backyard, the Women's World Cup, the best players on the planet.
It's so exciting. I mean, it's really the next, you know, you've got the Olympics and you've got your World Championships, and having been involved with one, it is so exciting, the fact that it's going to be in Sydney, that our fans get to see these amazing, not only the Opals, but from all across the world play, the players from the US, from France, from, you know, it's endless, and I can't wait for that to happen.
Damn, did they need that. Tessa Lavey from long range connects. Back to 12 points. They did lead this game 18-14, so it was at 27-8, the scoring run before that last bucket. And the Flyers favour with all the momentum. Wallace pulls up off the dribble. No good. McKay, the early advance. Back to McKay, shot up. Bishop a hand on it on the way through, and the Flyers recover it. Maddie Rocci. Rocci drives. Tough shot goes up. Wallace pulls down the offensive board. Bishop up top, looks at the three, loves it. Knocks it straight down, Abby Bishop.
That was just great second effort by Christy Wallace to just get a hand to that and knock it out to Abby Bishop, who was well and truly waiting at that three-point line.
Maley trying to answer back. Doesn't go. Gaze to Rocci, and now O'Hay. Right side of the floor. Wallace kicks it back out. The Opals captain O'Hay thought about pulling up, gets it to Bishop. Single digits on the shot clock. Great work, Maddie Rocci feeds it to Bishop. Layup misses.
Such poise on that possession. Even though they didn't score the basket, they got it through hands. The clock was ticking down, and they still got a really good look.
Leilani Mitchell finds the open McKay in the corner for three. Rattles him. Called for a little bit more involvement from Leilani Mitchell.
I don't think Megan McKay shot a three last year. First one, and she's made it.
Taken less than 2 quarters. Here's Maddie Rocci for three of her own off the front of the rim. And McKay recovers the ball in the backcourt. Leilani Mitchell up to 4 assists. Suya to get any points herself through the first 2 quarters. First game for the Spirit. Of course, she was the player of the grand final last year. Leilani Mitchell picking up the Rachel Swan medal with her 31 points in the grand final.
She was amazing that game. Like, she did it at both ends of the court, and she scored in so many different ways, and we certainly haven't seen that this afternoon from her. I imagine it, you know, it takes a little while to get used to running a team, a new team.
12-point game. Season opener for the new WNBL season. Amy Rocci down low. Spin move from Bishop. Shot's a little short. The Spirit recover it defensively. They need a few more stops. Maley out to the corner. Goodchild for three. Welcome to the big time. Lana Goodchild.
Well, they've got it under 10, and that's what you certainly want when you're going into halftime at least.
There were a few moments earlier in this quarter, or perhaps even late in the last, when the momentum really started to turn. And forgive you for being a little worried about the Spirit as to what it would look like at half-time, but with a minute to go, still in the game, just 3 possessions in it. McKay called for another foul. It's a hold. Away from the basketball. McKay's second personal.
Gee, neither team have been to the foul line much at all, if any.
From here for me, 14.
One trip each.
Cylinder. Ball's in.
So the Flyers 2 of 2 and Bendigo 1 of 2. Amy Rocci. A 1-2 with Bishop, now along the baseline. Sarah Blitzarves, who sat large periods in this second term, comes straight back on and picks up where she left off.
That is her favorite spot, a shot in the corner, either corner. She's deadly.
All of a sudden up to 16 points. As I said, rested really the last 5 minutes or so, comes straight back on. Leading scorer in the game, Tess Lavey up top. Misfires. Shot clock dead here, so time ticking away on the second term. 8 left. Amy Rocci drives, kisses it off the window for 2 more. And a late basket. The prayer goes up from Maddie Garrick, and it's short. And that'll do us through the opening half. A 14-point spread. The Southside Flyers, after leading by 4 at quarter time, started to blow this game open in the first half. The crucial late baskets for the Flyers after Bendigo were able to draw within 3 possessions, what seemed like just moments ago. Sarah Blitzarves on fire. 16 points in that opening half of basketball. She's with Megan Huswaite.
Well, it was the second quarter Blitzarves, Sarah Blitzarves. How did the Flyers turn that around?
Look, we got all our nervous energy. I got my mouth cut in right now. Bit lispy there, sorry. Got all our nervous energy out of the way. You know, it's exciting. We've got a crowd for once. We're playing in front of our family and friends. So, you know, we're a bit rattled. I think second quarter, we've relaxed into it now. We've taken deep breaths, and I think we've really settled in nicely.
What do you think the message will be from Cheryl Chambers at halftime?
Defense and rebounds. And, you know, just don't get too ahead of ourselves. We've got to make good plays. And like I said, D and rebound.
That's what you do best. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Megzy.
Thanks to Sarah Blitzarves. 16 points, as we touched on, 6 rebounds to go along with it. She was excellent. First part of that second quarter. And then sat down for 5 minutes, came straight back on. Laurie Chiswick and banged down another 3.
Exactly. How good is that? And that's what we talk about, the depth that they have, that whoever's on the court is doing a really great job. Jenna O'Hay, that first quarter, really dominated. Then we have Sarah Blitzarves coming on and doing that. Beck Cole, we know she's shot a couple of threes. They're doing it from inside the key, outside the key, and from the three-point line. So Flyers have certainly been impressive in their ball movement, their team movement, and their endeavor.
4 lead changes in the opening quarter. The second term, the Flyers win that quarter by 10 to now lead by 14 at the half. So what's changed over the off-season? We'll tell you all about it next. The first game of the new WNBL season. The Flyers lead the season opener by 14 at the half.
Quite good to me.
49 over the Bendigo Spirit, 35 to start the new season. Sarah Blitzarves with a spectacular display in that opening half of basketball, coming up with 16 points of her own. Abby Bishop back in the lead and among the scoring. It's been fantastic to see her back out there. The Bendigo Spirit, they did lead on a couple of occasions in that opening quarter. They led on 2 different occasions, 4 lead changes in the opening term. But in that second quarter, or really the latter stages of the first, Laurie Chiswick, it's fair to say the Southside Flyers took over from that point on. Really, they've never looked back. They lead by 14 at the half.
Well, you know what? It was all Flyers, really, that second quarter. And I think that Bendigo really just need to settle down a little bit. Like they came out so focused and ready to go, and I feel like they just lost their way. Having said that, I mean, the Flyers are an unbelievably powerful team, and I think they also found their rhythm and their groove, really took advantage of mismatches, great ball movement, and some really good defense.
The question was, I guess, how they were going to go without Liz Cambage coming in. Obviously, she's such a dominant figure. She really dictates a lot of how you're going to play as a unit. And yet they've been able to, they still look like one of the best teams in the competition all of a sudden again, even without Liz as the centerpiece of this lineup.
Well, I think you can, you know, as you mentioned earlier when we started the program, is that, and talking to Cheryl, she's finding that they can be a lot more creative in what they do now. So both offensively and defensively, how they play, how they move the ball, they can be quicker up and down the floor. They've got so many athletes that can just run the floor and score. So they haven't missed a beat.
She's not the only change, of course, with Maddie Rocci now really the floor leader out there at such a young age at 24. She replaces Leilani Mitchell. So Leilani Mitchell out there today for the other team in the Bendigo Spirit. So we've had a chance to see how they go against one another, both playing for their new teams in new singlets.
Well, we thought that this would be a great matchup. Leilani's got all the experience. Maddie Rocci is an up-and-coming, probably an opal in the future. And just to watch their matchup. But to be honest, both of them have had different influences on the game. Not so much from their scoring, but certainly from their passing. And especially Maddie Rocci, I feel, just organizing those Southside Flyers, calling the plays that need to, recognizing mismatches, and making some great plays out there. So right now, I'd have to say she has the edge on Leilani, and Bendigo really need Lei to step up. And not only just be a distributor, but she needs to think score herself as well.
Megan Huswaite is with us courtside at Dandenong Stadium. Megan.
Well, 2 of the big off-season signings were from the 2 teams taking the court today. Leilani Mitchell going from the reigning champs to the Bendigo Spirit, and Abby Bishop back in the league at the Southside Flyers. I caught up with both those ladies before the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Obviously, weird feelings coming back here. It's a place that I had come to love, and obviously still care for the girls and the staff and the whole organization here. And then obviously being the first game and celebrating with the banner and whatnot, it'll be a bit strange, but we're just excited to get back on the court and have our fans in the building. It's been a long 2 seasons. Last year we were in the bubble, so we're just looking forward to today, kicking things off, and hopefully it all goes well. We are hoping to play really up-tempo. Obviously we have a lot of youth and a bit of inexperience, so it's a bit of a learning curve as well, and we're making sure that we're trying to get everyone on the same page. I think we've done a really good job through preseason, so we're looking forward to getting out there today.
Look, I'm really happy to be back. Cheryl gave me a call and tried to persuade me for a couple of weeks, and it was a tough decision for me, but once I made the decision, I was really, really happy with it, and I'm really glad that I've landed here at the Flyers. So much has changed. I mean, it's been 11 years since I played here, but lots of familiar faces still around Dandenong Stadium. And yeah, I'm just really grateful to be back alongside some former teammates and have Cheryl as the head coach this time, because 11 years ago she was my assistant. So super grateful to be back. I think you can expect some tough defense. That's going to be our mentality going into every game. We want to be tough defenders, and we know we can score. We've got a great group of girls who, in each game, everybody can step up, and that's going to be tough to guard, but it's definitely going to be our defence this season, and it's going to be exciting.
It has been one of the big threads of the off-season is really the amount of player movement that has taken place. We'll get into some of that as the early games unfold. So Shyla Heal, the big one in the off-season as well, making her way to Sydney to play under Father Shane. Of course, they're in action tomorrow. Second half action is upon us, though. 14 points the lead for the Flyers at halftime over the Bendigo Spirit. Back with the second half after this. One of a number of players in a different singlet this season. We'll be talking more about that, I'm sure, as the season progresses. Second half adjustments. What are you looking for the Bendigo Spirit here, early stages of this second half?
I think they have to try and really stick to their game plan and not get taken out of it. So don't get pushed. They're running the flex, as you can see here. Get some good cuts, get through things, get the ball in Leilani Mitchell's hand. We saw that was successful early on, and that's something Megan McKay, I like her inside. You know, use her body, use her presence, but they really just need to stick to their game plan and not be, you know, intimidated by the team that is the Flyers.
Just a second mate from the field, Megan McKay, gives her 5 points for the game, and now Maddie Rocci cutting baseline was out of room.
Here you go, 24.
As the basket from McKay to start the second half. Nice bounce pass. Leilani Mitchell round the back.
I think she thought she traveled, got away with it.
Now dumps it down low. McKay again going to work, draws the foul on Bishop. Foul shots coming up for Megan McKay. You did mention this in the first half, Laurie, the lack of foul shots or trips to the foul line that we've seen. So this will just be the 5th and 6th foul shots in the game so far, so that includes both teams.
Well, I like the fact that McKay posted up inside. In the first half, I thought she was trying to get it high and take it off the dribble, which really isn't her strength. Use it around, you know, use her physicality around the rim. She did a great job of a shot fake, getting Abby Bishop in the air, and then getting that ball up to have find herself at the foul line.
Makes them both. Back to 10 points, full court trap on. Cole and Rocci work their way through it. There's Maddie Rocci up top again. Bishop to the weak side. Cole dribbles inside. Pull up for 2. Off the iron. Long rebound to Garrick.
Couple of nice possessions. Good stops by Bendigo Spirit to start the third quarter.
Lady deep 2 off the front of the rim. Bishop the rebound. Here's Jenna O'Hay. Going to work on Garrick. Turnaround Jay doesn't go. Whacked out of the hands of Garrick. It was last touched by Garrick. Gee, the Spirit unhappy with that. Did you see this, Laurie Chiswick?
Oh, to me it looked like Sarah knocked it out of Maddie Garrick's hand.
Hang on a second.
It's our ball.
Tracy York.
Switch the ball.
It's
We
our
change the
ball,
ball up.
mate.
They don't like the ball.
What's his name?
Tracy York there,
I called him mate.
mic'd up on the sideline. As you can see our coaching staff, including Kayla Dobkins there in the background, who former WNBL player herself, partner of Leilani Mitchell. And of course they have little son Cash, who got a lot of hang time on the WNBL coverage last year on the Flyers run to the championship.
That's right.
It's a pretty good combination to have on board. Tracy York as the brains trust with Mitchell, the floor leader, and Dobkins as part of the coaching staff for the Spirit. Blitzar's backing her way in, the tallest player down there, grabs the board and foul on the putback. Sarah Blitzar's a dominant showing, first up in the new season.
Well, she's really taking advantage of her height and her strength down there. She had Leilani Mitchell on her, Annalie Maley. She's taller than both of them, and she just persevered with that. Got her own rebound, went up strongly for a second time, and ended up with an and one.
Oh, misses. I can say that too often today about Sarah Blitzar. So 16 points in the first half. An early make in the second, and the deflection last touch by the Spirits. They'll keep it in the front court, the Flyers, despite the missed foul shot. Pet Cole draws the double team. Swings it up top to Bishop. Blitzar's free down low with the easy make. Sarah Blitzar's up to 20 points. Early stages in the third. Garrick answers one back straight over the hand of Blitzar's.
That was a really early shot that Maddie Garrett took. I'm glad she made it.
Cole Oh, knocks it straight down. Over the top of Annalee Bailey. A sweet connection for Bet Cole.
Bet Cole just seems to slowly be accumulating points as well. She's up to 12 now.
Averaged 15 a game last season. Shooting at 58% from the field, mind you.
That's what's so great, is that percentage. And the thing is with Bet Cole now, you have to close out long to her, get up close, and then she's such a weapon driving to the basket.
Here's Bishop, turnaround jumper. Doesn't get the shooter's roll. And clash of bodies, Maley and Mitchell. Two Spirit teammates as the ball disappears over the baseline. You heard the cries of teal, which is obviously Southside ball.
From here, please. 14 on the shot clock.
Megan McKay takes the seat. Carly Pogue back out there. Bishop catches on the perimeter. O'Hay to Cole. Thought about going again. Back to Bishop. Crashes into the defender, and then the putback for two. Just cleared out Maddie Garrick.
She did, didn't she?
A 17-point lead, a new game high for the Flyers. Oh, nice pick. Tess Lavey wins it back. Leilani Mitchell, her first points for Bendigo. Rattles in a three. Starts her scoring 4 minutes into the second half.
They certainly need more of that from Leilani. Maybe get her involved in a little bit more pick and rolls, high pick and rolls, because she can read that so well.
Blitzhoff's catch and shoot. Catches the iron, and Garrick's strong rebound.
You have to think about these Flyers, this Flyers outfit, and the bench and the subs that they're making. And you still have Rachel Jerry to come in, a very experienced player that can play such a great role coming off the bench. She's got a back complaint, and so she's out this weekend. Not sure how long she'll be out, but whoa, that's just another great player to come in.
So Rochi has a pocket pick. Leilani Mitchell with the stop to Garrick. Draws Cole, misses the layup, and Maley runs out of room. Foot on the baseline. She wanted the foul call on Garrick. It's not forthcoming. A 14-point margin will remain. She wanted her own foul call, in fact, for the contact pulling down the board. Here's Bishop from the foul line. Banks then. Timeout called. 16 points again. Every time they just try and string some baskets together, Bendigo, the Flyers have every answer at the moment.
I think it'd be good if Bendigo's tried something different, maybe even go into a zone and just sort of try and slow this onslaught down. I know they're shooting well from outside, but they've got to try something different. Spirit are just, their tempo's happening, they're reading each other, and they need to make some sort of change.
So there's the stat line for Sarah Blitzarves. 20 points. Look at the clip that she's going at. Laurie Chiswick, 8 of 13 from the field, and then 2 of 3 from long range.
Well, that's hard to stop when somebody's playing that well, but their shots they're not that contested. She's not having to make that difficult shot. She's got time, she's got space, she's got confidence going now. She's reading when there's a mismatch, as there was in this shot here with Leilani Mitchell. Yeah, her game is on point right now.
She shot the three last season at 50%. She was one of only 3 players in the competition to have had 15 or more looks from long range and had gone at a clip of 50 plus. Along with Courtney Woods and Bet Cole, the other who we've touched on already.
And the thing is with Sarah is that her career stat for 3 points is 36%, and last year she got 50, and she's just continuing it on right now. Cheryl looking at her little cheat sheet, as you do as a coach, little plays to run and reminders and matchups.
See Aussie Hoops in the corner of your screen. If you're wondering what's Aussie Hoops, well, it's an opportunity to introduce kids to the sport of basketball, age 5 to 10. So mum and dad, if you're watching at home, or if you are in the 5 to 10 age bracket, go and speak to mum and dad and say, look, It's their opportunity to play a little bit of basketball. 100,000 kids every year participate in the program. Chance now to register for Term 1 programs as of next year. AussieHoops.basketball/find a program to get involved. What a great participation sport for kids. Popular worldwide, huge part of youth culture across the world as well. So Aussie Hoops is your junior program. It's Annalie Maley again on the boards. Pulls down an offensive rebound. Dumps it down low. McKay chucks it up. Gets the shooter's roll, and it goes.
Really good teamwork by Bendigo in that whole possession.
Midway through the third term, still at 14 as it was at the half. Maddie Rocci thought about the look. Dribbles inside. Draws the contact. Foul shots coming up for the former Capitals guard.
2 shots. Number 9.
It's nice to see both these teams in our first up game. We can call them the all-Australian teams. No imports at all, either of these two teams. And every other team has 2 imports, so it's it'll be interesting to see over the course of the season how they go.
Second shot misses. Sarah Bledsoe's all over it. Strong rebound at the putback. Sarah Bledsoe keeps her scoring tally ticking. Up to 22 in the game. Leilani Mitchell throws it away. Maddie Rocci back the other way. Downhill.
Oh.
Called for the walk. She sees the funny side of it at least.
It certainly was a travel.
There is something about the travel. If you can just do it with confidence, sort of just try and throw your way out of it. You can often just fool everybody on the way through, but Bendigo Spirit players were awake to that. I think after about the 5th or 6th step, they were starting to ask the question. 17-point game, as wide as it's been. Flyers lead. Spirit led a couple of times in the opening term. McKay can't finish after riding the contact. Oh, Maley just picked it straight out of the bread basket of Bishop and pops it in off the glass. Opportunistic. Cole for 2. That's a nice finish. In front of Garrick and hit Cole from the baseline. Returns that margin to 17. Garrick off the dribble. Called for the travel herself.
I think the traveling is being called against the Spirit in that they're just trying to do a little bit too much on their own. So that time Maddie Garrick, she was trying to wheel and deal and get around and just drew that pivot foot.
Oh, loose handoff. Amy Rocci. And an easy turnover and basket for Mary Goulding. A nice season last year, the tall fern. Gaze, another newbie for the Flyers. Sarah Bledsoe's on the end of it, passing straight through the lane for 2 more.
Sarah Bledsoe is moving so well off the ball, recognizing that when it goes into her partner, Abby Bishop, to just cut to the basket hard. Nice finish again by Mary Goulding. She's having a bit of an impact.
Turns 24 on Wednesday, averaged 7 points last year, coming off the bench for the Spirit. Gaze, deep 2. Can't connect, and Maley another rebound. Up to 8 for the game. Garrick, deep 3. Straight in. They need a few more of those, the Spirit.
They need to come up with some stops in a row to give themselves a chance.
Cole down to Bishop. Bishop the layup. Easy basket.
How cagey was Beck Cole there? She slowed it down. She changed her pace. She looked like she was going to drive, and then just a nice little pocket pass into Bishop.
Pass down low. Goulding the catch. Makes the basket her 3rd in a row down that end of the floor, and 1 to come at the line. Big quarter for Mary Goulding.
Well, it is, and that was a really good read by Mary Golding in that they've been running the flex offense where you have a screen down and she would normally pop up, but she read that her defender was cheating high, and so she cut back door, and a really good recognition, a good pass and finish.
Shot from the foul line last year at 65%. She makes her first look here, and the full court trap on for the Spirit. Flyers again make their way through. Back to 11 points. Can they get some stops here, Bendigo? Try and work their way back into the game. Bishop in the short corner. Out to Gaze. Down to O'Hay. Works her way through traffic. Turnaround. Jay's good. Jenna O'Hay with a bit of experience just steadies the ship for Southside. Back to 13. Levy drives. Fouled en route. Gaze will be called for it.
Just a nice little hesitation dribble. Looks to the side as if she's going to pass it. Then a strong finish at the basket. Bendigo are just sort of hanging around, aren't they, Corbin? They're at that sort of 11-12 margin. If they could just get a couple of stops, they've got 1:49 left in this quarter. Get it under 10, well, then you have to go, you know, that's all you can ask for going into that fourth quarter.
Makes both. Tess Levy shot at 85% from the charity stripe last season. Back to 11 points. Megan Huswaite courtside.
Well, Arlo Blitzarves and Little Cash were the mascots for the Flyers last season in the Hub. We've got a new one this year. This is Zala Bishop, the daughter of Abby.
Say hi. What?
You say go Flyers?
Go Flyers.
Go Mum?
Go Mum.
There we go.
Thanks, Megan. Abby Bishop back in the league, which is great to see with the Southside Flyers already 13 points. Her first outing for a new team, but seen her plenty of years before in the competition. The 33-year-old in her 13th WNBL season. Of course, spent time in Europe, as well as the WNBA, and playing her 249th game in the league. So milestone next outing against the Melbourne Boomers for Bishop.
Bendigo have really upped their pressure right now.
Amy Rochi can't connect on the two. McKay the rebound. Already back to 9 points. Levy puts the shot up, doesn't go. Rides the contact from Wallace, no call. So still a three-possession game, but no points critically down the floor for Bendigo. Through a number of hands. Great ball movement. Bishop for three. Front on. Catches the iron. McKay the rebound. Need some points here.
Well, they need to get the ball through hands and get a really good look at the basket. Looks like they're just going to spread the floor and get a high on-ball screen for Levy.
9-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Garrick down to Goulding in the corner. Dribbles inside. Oh, loose bounce pass. One on McKay. Missed her. Had a good quarter. Mary Goulding with 3 straight makes, 7 points in the quarter.
She got by her defender. She just needed to pull up and put that shot in the air, and hopefully if it didn't go in, Annalie Maley would be there to sweep it up.
4 lead changes in the opening quarter. Flyers led by 4 at quarter time, by 14 at the half. And the Spirit winning this quarter so far. They get another stop here just to keep it at 3 possessions as we head to three-quarter time. Final 10 seconds for quarter number 3. Amy Rochi runs into McKay, lost the handle over the sideline. And that last touched Rochi off her lower leg, so all of a sudden Bendigo will get it back with seconds remaining. The bench sets it at 5.2 seconds. They get a late basket here to make it interesting. Here's Levy, 2 on the clock, pulls up for 3, it's short. But a 3-possession game as we turn for home. It looked a couple of times like the Spirit were going to be blown off the court in that third quarter. They hung tough, and able to make some inroads on that margin in the latter part of the third term. So 9 points separates the Flyers and the Spirit. Final quarter action up next.
We have walked this land for a long time. We know how far we've gone, and we're sure of how far we can go. Unity is not just a word here. It's not just a spirit in this sport. It's the way we all move. We are proud of our art, country, family, language, and culture. We are united by basketball.
Welcome to FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2022.
The defending champions, the Southside Flyers, they lead by 9. Final quarter action coming up. Tracy York and the Bendigo Spirit, they've got it all to do.
Go, Collie. Go, Gazy. All right, it's their possession on this next out of bounds. So we're going to be in a 2-3. Can we do this? Acting like we're man-to-man, so talk it up. Annalie, you're going to be on the ball. Let's say, Tessa, allow yours to get it. You two are going to go double the crap out of this. Mary, you're in your normal pick-off spot here. Meg, you're here. You're covering anything middle, and you're on this side of the floor.
If that doesn't work, just get into the zone.
Yeah.
Hey, it's super important. These guys don't overplay the ball.
Yeah.
Stay between the basket.
Just stay till we can double team it, yeah? Okay, here we go.
1, 2, 3.
Spirit.
They didn't win a single game last season. They didn't lead a single game at three-quarter time either. The Southside Flyers last year converted all 12 of their three-quarter time advantages into a W. They lead by 3 possessions here. 9-point game, 71-62. Final quarter action upon us.
Well, I would think Cheryl would have a few things to say to the team at three-quarter time as far as their focus, and they need to get back to, you know, running the ball, pushing the ball, being physical. We'll see if Bendigo can execute what Tracy York has asked. So they're showing a man-to-man and then falling back into a zone.
Maddie Rocci catches in the backcourt out to Amy Rocci, her sister-in-law. To O'Hay, to Cole. Down to Bishop, works inside, pulls up, good. And Bishop up to 15 points on a return to the league. Big bucket to start the final term. Back into double digits, Flyers by 11. Goulding dumps it down low. Bailey catches, finishes at the rim, pops it in.
That's the sort of basket that they need. Just get it through some hands, as I've said before.
O'Hay, catch and shoot for 3. It's a dagger. Jenna O'Hay from long range.
How many times over her career has she done that? Just when they need a basket, she plays the captain's role. She steadies the ship and comes up with a basket like that.
.12-point game. 5 on the shot clock. Garrick has to create her own shot. Puts it up, doesn't go. Cole the rebound. Sarah Blitzards with 24, 17 for Bet Cole, 15 for Bishop, and 10 for O'Hay. The leading scorers for Southside. Cole works inside, off the glass, 2 more. You can tell just by their attitude here to start this final quarter, they're switched on out of the huddle at three-quarter time. Crucial basket at the other end for Megan McKay. Long pass up the floor, and Jenna O'Hay there again. A wise veteran just creeping down the floor in the easy catch and make. Still at 14 points.
Well, I think in the fourth quarter here, Southside probably will have the legs in that they've been able to make more subs consistently and not lose anything. And I feel like they're just going to look at really running and pushing.
Garrick shakes Cole, can't connect on the shot. Bishop the board. So Bishop 8 rebounds to go along with that 15 points from double-double watch. Maddie Rocci to Amy. Around the back to Bet Cole off the front of the rim. Doesn't go.
I think there's a bit of confusion with Bendigo. We'll see next time down where some were in zone, some were in man. They were just lucky that the Flyers didn't score.
Garrick tried to muscle her way in. Kicks it out. Neat connection. Nothing but nylon on the shot from Tessa Levy. Bishop clears out Goulding, landed awkwardly. Bet Cole tries to take advantage. Bishop, the taller reach. And the easy finish at the basket. Over the top to give her 17 points.
Abby Bishop is just so adept at using her body so well. She positions herself, she gets her shot off, she's got lovely touch.
The Flyers have a 13-point lead. Maley, tough J. No good, and then Goulding crashes straight into Maddie Rocci looking for a break. She did land a little awkwardly after that contact with Bishop. There's a Levy basket, nice rainbow three.
Someone's got a tail. Someone's got a pass in.
There's no competing with that. 191 centimetres, Abby Bishop reaching over the top.
24 on the shot.
With the O board, the putback.
You're right, though, Corbin, that certainly Southside have come out with a different mentality.
Oh, hey, tough finish.
For this last quarter.
Still at 13 points. A plucky performance from the Bendigo Spirit and went winless last year. Leilani Mitchell out to Maddie Garrick. The two combined for a much-needed basket. The long-range three brings it back to 10. Can they get some stops now on this end of the floor? Oh, that'll help their cause.
That will. Did you predict that, Corbin? Did you know that that was going to happen?
No. That would have been the perfect setup. Usually those things work the other way, don't they? We'll sort of try and lean into something and the game has a happy knack of doing the opposite.
If Bendigo can get a good score here and just put that little bit of doubt in Southside's mind, a little bit of scoreboard pressure.
Bogue shot blocked. Bishop swats it back. Get that shot out of here. Now Bishop at the other end of the floor for three. Splashdown, Abby Bishop.
And isn't she having fun in her game, first game back in the WNBL? She is having such an influence at both ends of the court, and her IQ is really standing out.
What a highlight to cut out. Replay. Stop at one end of the floor, goes down the other, knocks down the dagger. Some nice breathing room at 13 points, the Flyers' advantage. And now a timeout. Tracy York keen to chat it over, so a 13-point advantage for the Flyers. Was down to 9 points at three-quarter time. This is Tracy York, coach of the Spirit.
Listen up, out of bounds baseline. Bogey, you're going to be out here in flat on the baseline. So you've got the three-point shooter here. Yeah, so you're going to be here, Annalie. Actually, yeah, Bogey this side. All right, let's have Annalie, you're coming to the basket. All right, so we've got two shooters in here. Let's have a look at, you come here, Lee. All right? And Maddie, you're there. So we're trying to get Annalie underneath the hoop for Maddie as a shooter, Bogey in the corner on flat. Next one, run Eucla. I want Bogey in the trail, and she's coming off the UCLA. Make sure we defend here.
Megan Huswaite, courtside.
Cheryl Chambers very happy with the Flyers' ball movement. She was telling her players when they move the ball well, they're good at getting good shots. They're going to go to O'Hay here too.
In their front court. Levy underneath the Bendigo basket. Kicks it into Mitchell. Pump fake, now decides to pull the trigger. And that's what she wanted. Corner three for Leilani Mitchell. They need to start making some shots here to Spirit. Midway through the final turn. Flyers have had it out by as many as 17. Jenna O'Hay. It's a hand across the face from Maddie Garrick.
And that must be the play that Megan was talking about, that they were running towards Jenna O'Hay, and they executed it very well. She got it exactly where she wanted it. Maddie Garrick on her back and turned and shot it.
If I gave you this game situation and said Jenna O'Hay was at the line, I think these would just about be some pretty safe shots. Right on cue. The first one goes down, the second one misses. 12-point spread. What a cool customer she is, Jenna O'Hay. The big outing again to start the new season. The Opals captain with 16 points.
Well, she's normally an 81% foul shooter.
I'm happy to give her one miss at the line for her output already today. Here's Bet Cole. A long pass cross court from O'Hay, and Cole connects on the triple. And that'll make it tough for the Spirit now, back to 15. 4 to play. Bow, catch and shoot. Off target. Ball just getting stuck in Garrick's hand, and now at the other end, Cole puts up the baseline J. Drops in 2 more off the rim.
She's just having a bit of a party out there right now, so they can't defend her at the three-point line. They close out long. She now drives it either all the way to the basket or a pull-up. She's pulling them all out.
Bogue with the basket. That shot from Bet Cole at the other end brings her to 24 points. 10 of 15 shooting, so she equals Sarah Blitzarv's tally for the most points on the floor. Both with 24. 16 for Jenna O'Hay, and there's 2 championship teammates.
I think we may, in our first game of the season, see a 100-point game, Corbin. Maybe they're, maybe all the teams are still, you know, working on their defense. But given that both teams, or across the league, the preseason has been so much better. There's been so much ability to teach, to go through defensive structures, principles that you want. So I would expect to see a big improvement in that this season as compared to last season.
Touched on during the broadcast, Rachel Jarry missing today with a back injury for the Flyers. Haven't got an import. Another stacked roster, albeit without Leilani Mitchell and Liz Cambage not returning for the new season. Still, they'll be one of the teams to beat as Garrick draws the foul from Wallace. Bendigo, they're going to be an interesting watch as the season progresses. They've been hung with the Flyers today. They didn't win a game last season, but they bring in the likes of Garrick and Mitchell and Maley, McKay.
I think they will really get better as each game goes by, where their scoring options are going to come from, how their matchups are going to look, whether they're going to go a bit bigger, a bit smaller, and if they do go smaller, what does that look like?
It's 6 years since they last featured in the playoffs. Bendigo Spirit, and that previous 3-year run, they won 2 championships, played in another grand final series back in the Bernie Harrower days. Very proud organisation, the Bendigo Spirit. As Maddie Rocci takes a seat, first outing for the Southside Flyers, just the 1 point, only had 3 looks from the field. As we know, she does her work around the court, 6 rebounds, 8 assists.
But look at the scoring output from the other starters on that Southside Flyers. Cole, 24, O'Hay, 16, Bishop, 20, Blickov's 24. I mean, that's a pretty phenomenal starting lineup.
Amy Rocci into Bet Cole. 22 in the grand final, 24 tonight in the season opener. Blitzarv's misfires.
You realize now that I said about the 100, they're not going to make it.
Shot up from McKay, doesn't go. Maley pulls it down, has one crack, now a second. Reverse layup, that's good. Annalie Maley, great to see her back for another season. 4th year, 4th different franchise. The Bendigo Spirit, the leading rebounder last season. A little bit scrappy, but last touch by the Spirit over the sideline.
It's good to see that Bendigo are still fighting hard. The little bit of full court pressure there after this made basket by Annalie Maley. So they're certainly not, you know, throwing in the towel by any stretch of the imagination.
Still at 15 the margin. Flies way. It's closing out here late in the piece. Bishop pulls up for 3 more. Catches the front of the rim. Maley shot up, doesn't go. Cole with the rebound. Annalie Maley, of course, it's a new season, so 13 points and again, 10 rebounds to start. 2 on the offensive side of the floor. Wallace inside, runs into trouble, throws it away. Oh, now forces a turnover. She'll get it back here. Wallace a fumble, tries to recover it and throws it off the backboard. Would have been a neat play to finish off Christy Wallace.
Everybody has a nice little smile about that.
13-point margin, 91-78. 2 minutes and change to go. In fact, less than that, 1:30 on the game clock. Opponent for both these teams next is Melbourne. And there's high expectations again around the Melbourne Boomers. And thereabouts in recent seasons. Last year under Guy Malloy. They break through and deliver another championship this year. So they'll play Bendigo on Wednesday and then up against the Southside Flyers next Saturday night.
Yes, these Victorian teams with the fixture that's come out this year and with the challenges, the 3 Victorian teams actually play each other a few times in the very early rounds and then not again till later. So, you know, it doesn't give coaches much time to make any adjustments, but they've also been playing each other. They've had the luxury of playing each other in preseason games, which some of the other states haven't. You know, talk about Perth. Oh my goodness, their first game isn't till January 2nd, so they miss that full you know, month of games before they come on board. And I spoke to the coach just as I was driving into this commentary, and he said they initially started training as if they were going to start this weekend, and then when it all changed with the border restrictions, he gave them a week off, and they're back on track now. Their imports have finished their quarantine and are with them. So, you know, he was very pragmatic about it. It is what it is. Whenever the WNBL say, you know, you're going to play now, they'll be ready to go. Great attitude.
Post-game show coming up. We've got a lot to discuss here as well, Laurie Chiswick. So, first game of the new season, but all the big storylines. The imports are back. We've got a game, as you said here. These are the only 2 teams that haven't got imports, but WNBA stars littered throughout the WNBL this season. We've got a number of local stars to look out for. Roster movements all over the place with player transfers, as we've already seen on display in today's game. So, we'll take you through a few of those and look ahead to the Caps and the Flames tomorrow. Shane Heal back coaching. First time since he coached the West Coast Waves back 7 years ago in the competition, and links up with his daughter Shyla as well, one of the brightest young stars in, I think it's fair to say, world basketball. Obviously drafted by the Chicago Sky. Shot goes up from Leilani Mitchell from downtown. No good. We'll talk a little bit about tomorrow's game and all the wash-up. Plus how this game was won. 4 lead changes in the opening quarter. A 14-point lead at halftime for the Flyers. The Spirit had it back to a 3-possession game at 3-quarter time.
What was the call?
Foul was after the ball was released on the defense.
So what did she do?
Pushing foul, 15 after the ball was released, so there's no team control, therefore it becomes a defensive foul. Here's
the explainer. 5 seconds to go. Game out of reach. Tracy York wanted some clarity. Sarah Blitzarves wants some more points. She makes 1 of 2 to get to 25. Bishop pulls down the board. Blitzarves isn't done. Shot up, fouled. Beyond the perimeter. She'll go to the line to shoot 3. Megan McKay with a late swat. Third personal. No soft touches even this late in the piece, Laurie Chiswick.
No, that's exactly right. This is one area of Sarah's game that she can improve. Last year she shot the ball, foul shot at 68%, so we'll see if she can improve it this season.
Yeah, they're a constellation of stars, the Southside Flyers, the way this team's been constructed, but Sarah Blitzarves a big talking point out of the game here. So had a breakout season last year. She got her points here, went it and added. Heavy 16 to half time, ends up with 26 at the moment. Chance to make it 27, less than a second on the clock. Misses. There's obviously more time remaining than that. Here's Maley away to Levy, hits the 3. Some late points for Tess Levy. Game decided, 9-point spread in favour of the Southside Flyers in the waning moments. Goulding picks her pocket. Levy back the other way. Out to Leilani Mitchell. Jacks the 3. Off target. And Sarah Blitzarves pulls down the board. Oh, loose pass. Amy Roche fell awkwardly on her elbow. Shots up from Goulding.
They're running into each other. Who am I going to call a foul on?
They're playing every minute out here.
They are. And, you know, they've won the second quarter. They'll take a lot out of that.
Here it is. Still after a shot. 20 inches, so you can still run.
Awkward landing from Roche. No call, as you heard from the ref. And again, the full court press, despite the 13-point margin. Final 18 seconds in the game. Spirit playing this right out against the Flyers. And the Flyers are happy to walk it off. Time will tick down. The Southside Flyers, they had to work for it, but they pick up where they left off. The defending champions start the season with a win. A 13-point victory over Bendigo. 94-81 full time. The Southside Flyers win the season opener. 27 for Sarah Blitzarves, 24 for Beck Cole, 20 for Abby Bishop on a return to the league. For the Bendigo Spirit, gee, they never rolled over in this game. Winless last season, they picked up a boatload of experienced players. 15 points for Maley, also had 13 boards, so a big double-double for her. Tess Levy with 15 points, double digits as well for Goulding and for Bogue. 14 points at halftime, 13 in the finish. They had the answer to every question that Bendigo posed the Southside Flyers.
Well, they did, and I think that it was a really good first hit out for both of the teams. I know Bendigo, of course, would have been going into it to try and win the game, but you know, you're up against the defending champions, a team that's loaded with talent, and I think both teams will take a lot out of it, get that nervousness out of their system. We can see a nice smile on Cheryl Chambers' face. It's always good to get that first win, especially on your home court in front of fans, as we can see this year. And how nice is it when they unfurl their championship flag that they've been able to win as well with their new crop of players.
Megan Huswaite is with the captain, the championship winner as well in Jenna O'Hay.
I am Jenna. It's been a long time between home games. How did it feel to win at home again?
Just great to be in front of our fans again. Obviously it was exciting to win the championship last year, but not being in front of our home fans was disappointing. So to be back in front of them and unveil our championship banner, it was really great, and to get a win first up in the new season, it's pleasing.
How would you describe that win? It had a bit of everything, that game.
It did. It was a physical game. I wouldn't expect anything less. Up and down. I think we've still got a lot to work on, but I was happy with how we played tonight.
You would have been happy with the performance of Sarah Blitzarves. You captained her at the Opal. She's had a great year personally. What was it like to see her light it up tonight?
Yeah, I think it was just a great effort across the board. I think it's going to be really hard to defend us this season. There's just so many weapons on our team. So, yeah, it's exciting.
On to the derby next week, the first leg of the Michelle Timms Cup against the Melbourne Boomers. You had 2 hit-outs against them in pre-season. Bring it on.
Bring it on. Thanks. Forward to it.
Oh, it's great to have Jenna O'Hea back again this year at 34 years of age, 3-time championship winner, of course, the captain of the Opals at the Tokyo Games. That's how it finished. Laurie Chiswick, an 11-point bumper, 94-83. The Flyers get it done.
Well, you can just see across the board that the percentages of the Flyers is just that bit higher than the Spirit, especially when you look at the three-point shots. Bendigo probably took too many three-pointers, 25, when they weren't really at a high clip. I would have liked to have seen gone through hands a little bit more. But certainly, you know, both teams had lots of assists, which means that they're playing great team basketball. And in the end, Flyers went ahead with that free throw shooting, but only shot it at 58%. So that's an area that they can fix up. But truly, I feel like it was a very entertaining first-up game.
This is Cheryl Chambers' third year in charge of the Southside Flyers. She now has a 33-8 win-loss record in that time. Runners-up in the first year under the Flyers moniker. Then obviously championship winners last year, and they win their season opener here to get the ball rolling in the new season. And coaches with Megan Huswaite.
Well, Cheryl, Corbin was just saying you've got a 33-8 record here at the Flyers. You'd be very happy to add a win to that today.
Yeah, it's so exciting to be back. It feels like we haven't played for so long, and to have some fans here cheering for us, it was awesome.
A bit of a new look team for the reigning champs, and they played team basketball today.
Yeah, look, really happy with the way we played, and, you know, we knew it was going to be up and down all day because we haven't played much, but, you know, we need to look after the ball a little bit better and we'll be in good shape.
You're assistant coach of the Opals. You were part of a team which featured Sarah Blitzarves getting the late call-up. How great was it to see her shine today?
Oh, look, fantastic. And, you know, she works hard and wears her heart on her sleeve, so it's always great to see her get some reward of all her hard work.
Now on to the Melbourne Boomers next week. You've got them in the upcoming rounds, and it's going to be a tough tussle.
I think so. It's fantastic. Melbourne fans to get out and about. I think it'll be a great game with some really great players. So, you know, we both want to beat each other, so it'll be a great game.
We look forward to it. Thanks, Cheryl. Well done today.
No worries. Thank you.
Oh, they're always spicy tussles, aren't they? The Southside Flyers and the Melbourne Boomers. One of the best rivalries in basketball, and we'll see it next Saturday night. Sarah Blitzarves, who Megan mentioned there, to 27 points, 9 rebounds. She was on 10 rebounds as the full-time buzzer went, but as we know, there's sort of the adjusting that goes on after the just to make sure that all the stats are recorded correctly. So they've robbed her of a rebound, and as a result, a double-double.
I did see that. I was looking at that same thing, because I looked and I thought, oh, Abby Bishop and Sarah both have their double-doubles.
From the Flyers to the Bendigo Spirit, Tracy York is with Megan Huswaite.
Well, Tracy, not the win today, unfortunately, but, gee, plenty of pleasing signs.
Yeah, definitely. Really happy. We played to the end. We tried to play as hard as we can, and probably could have gone either way at one point in terms of scoreline, but you know, we outscored them in the second half, which was great, and even those last few possessions when we're stealing it and you know, trying to score. So I'm really happy with the girls.
Well, you put this team together early in the piece when free agency opened. You've had 3 practice games. This is probably the best game you've had as a team, so you would be, you know, including the practice games. So what will be the message to the players after this?
Yeah, I think it's about persistence, which we did, playing tough, which I thought we did, and you know, we're playing against the reigning champs, and you know, 11 points, you know, we can manage that, and we can look at where we can get a little bit better. 94 points is too many, but 83 wasn't bad for us to put on the board either.
And you've got Melbourne too on Wednesday at home. It must be so exciting to get back to Bendigo Stadium and play in front of your fans.
Yeah, it'd be great to get back to Bendigo. It literally seems like a long time since we've had a home game there, so we really want to see all the fans out. And if the girls can just put in that sort of effort, you know, we will at least be really, really competitive, and we want our fans to see that.
It was great stuff by Bendigo today. We look forward to your performance in round 2 and for the rest of the season. Thanks, Tracy, and good luck.
Thanks, Megan. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think they lost any fans today. The Bendigo Spirit, 11 points to the defending champs in the Southside Flyers. You touched on it during the call, Laurie Chiswick. Feels like they're the sort of team that will get better as the season goes on, and maybe even a sneaky sort of playoff team just to sort of watch as the latter part of the season. They'll be thereabouts competing for one of those spots.
Well, I just really believe they'll be competitive. No team can just walk in and go, oh, it's Bendigo, we can take this lightly. I really believe that they'll get some wins, they'll get better. The type of offense they're running takes a little while to get used to, and you know, with the players they've gotten, and they've got probably the most lineup that's changed the most in the competition. So I think they will get better. But, you know, they were fun to watch today. As we can see the Flyers, I mean, they just certainly moved that ball around and were really impressive.
More from Dandenong Stadium as to how it was won coming up, as well as the battle of the two faces that are going to lead Australian basketball going forward in the game tomorrow between the Flames and the Caps. That's next in 90 seconds time. In that position for them, and she starts with a dominant double-double. What did you make of her game, Laurie Chiswick?
Oh, it was wonderful to see her back and playing in the Flyers uniform, and she was very influential. She's very calm on the court. She just goes about her business. She demands the ball. She finishes well, runs the floor. We saw her block that shot and then go shoot a three. What more can you ask for in your first game back? She was really impressive.
We'll see more of her as the season progresses. Let's kick it back down courtside, Dandenong Stadium. Megan Huswaite.
Well, Bendigo are without one of their stars this season, Carly. She's had an arrival over the off-season. Carly, congratulations. And who's this?
Thank you. This is Kylan. Little cutie pie, you know. You got anything to say? No.
How old is he?
He's 3 months now. Wow. Yes, he's growing so fast.
Now, you've already signed on to play in the NBL 1 for Waverley next season?
Yes, I sure have. I'm very excited. Started training with them once a week, so getting back into it slowly, and I'm really enjoying it.
Could we see you back in the WNBL next year?
Possibly, yeah, hopefully.
Is it exciting given that, you know, the parental policy we've now got in the league and so many mums coming back and playing, including your best friend Alex Bunton, who's coming back tomorrow after having Opal for the UC Caps? Is that enticing as well?
Yes, I think it's a really good policy to have in place, and it makes us feel confident to come back into the league, and it's so good to see so many little bubbers out there this season.
It was so good to see Bendigo's performance today. You were part of their season in the Hub last year. What did you make of the Spirit today?
Look, it was a tough game. I think a few calls that were a bit rough, but no, I think it was a good first hit out for both teams, getting cobwebs out. It's been a long year of no basketball, so no, it was good for both teams.
Great to see you at the basketball. Nice to meet you, buddy, and I'm sure we'll see you again. And thanks, Carly.
And thanks to Megan Huswaite as well. A great insight, and as Megan pointed out, that we've got a lot of mums in the league at the moment. These basketball games fast becoming like creches around the competition with all these kids running around. It is the first game of a doubleheader this weekend, of course. We've got the Southside Flyers winning first up against the Bendigo Spirit, but the game tomorrow is particularly juicy as well. So we've got the Sydney Uni Flames up against the UC Capitals. You can frame this in so many ways with, of course, Shane Hill coming back to coach, Shyla Hill on the court, who has really been sort of the face of the competition at such a young age, and so many people, casual sports fans, wanting to know when Shyla Hill played and who does she play for, when's she in action. But really, if you look at Jade Melbourne and Shyla Hill, with zero hyperbole, it feels like these are the two players that are going to take Australian basketball forward for the next decade and a half.
They are such young, impressive young women, and they both had sensational years last year. So the matchup tomorrow with both of them playing will be great. And I love the fact that Shyla has moved from Townsville to play with her father, Shane. It'll be really interesting. You know, everybody, I think, feels the same way. She had a great season under Shannon Seaborn last year at Townsville. So how will she go playing under her dad? We don't know what the style will be like, what, you know, the roles. They've got some great imports coming in. So it'll be really fascinating to see how Shyla goes and how she responds to being coached by Shane.
She had a phenomenal season last year, and we're seeing some of the highlights of that now, and really was a big part of why Townsville were able to go on the run that they did. I knock around in a lot of sort of casual sports settings, and you talk to people that are sort of sports fans of cricket or Aussie rules or rugby league or whatever it may be, and the first thing that they asked me about the NBL this year was, is Liz Cambage coming back? And the answer was no. And the second question was, is Shyla Hill playing this year? All of a sudden she's starting to reach that sort of crossover market that people are interested in her as a personality, and it's something that the league should really be trying to sell, to sort of sell some of these games through the key characters that have such a great story.
Well, especially when her and, say, Jade Melbourne are really our players of the future, and you talk about the World Championships next year in Sydney. How great would it be if they're, I mean, they would have to be somewhere in there. Sandy Brondello's put together a big roster in the lead up to that, and saying, you know, if you have a great WNBL season, you'll certainly get looked at, so, which I think is fabulous for these young players.
Oh, it's a great matchup. Jade Melbourne, Shyla Hill tomorrow, 12:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time.
But you know what? We have to, you know, there's a few other little things to look at. We've got the Froling. Keely Froling has moved from the Capitals to Sydney, and then her sister Alicia slid back into Canberra. So we've got the Keelys, the Frolings both there. So there's lots of different matchups to look at. And can I say one more thing? The record game holder, Kelly Wilson, is returning. How great is that? 396 games that she has played. Love the fact that she's back playing.
Look at that. We can't even do a 3-minute preview without talking about all these different
Sorry.
storylines. There's so many things to get through in the WNBL this year. Now, round 2 is just around the corner as well. So only 2 games in the first weekend. Next weekend we have a bigger slate of fixtures for you. So looking forward to seeing what's ahead next week. And the Melbourne Boomers in particular, who we touched on during the broadcast, are going to be in action with their 2 games, obviously against the sides that we saw today.
So do you think it's a matter of, it's Guy Malloy, he's announced that this will be his last season, so is this like his farewell tour? And there's going to be lots of pressure and a big hype, and they're certainly one of the favourites. They're putting their hands up, so what a great first up matchup against the Flyers. That'll be a big test.
And if I didn't sell it for you enough, then we get the return bout in Canberra. The Capitals up against the Flames, so after we get it tomorrow, it'll be part of the round 2 fixture as well. So so much to look forward to. We touched on the returning players. You mentioned Wilson obviously making her return to the league this year, the game's record holder. We've had a number of players that are back in the competition. One of them in action today, obviously, in Abby Bishop and what she was able to do. But here's a few other names to look out for that you might think, I remember her in the league just not all that long ago.
Yeah, well, we mentioned Kelly Wilson. Good to see her back. Michaela Cox is back from a year off. And Alex Bunton, she's had injuries, and both of them have had children. Their first child, so it's fantastic to see them back in the league. Alana Smith had injury. She was supposed to play with the Lightning last year, but now is back on the court. Hopefully her ankles are okay. And Lindsay Allen, and while she's not Australian, she's an import, we sort of think of her as that. This will be her 3rd season with the Boomers, so fantastic to see her back on court with the Boomers as well.
And that's a nice lineup to look forward to in the coming weeks when these players turn out for the first time for their teams. Now, the Southside Flyers, of course, we touched on them winning today, an 11-point victory over the Bendigo Spirit. They are the defending champions in the competition, of course. They've got a number of returning players, but they have also made significant change. So they've kept their core in place while bringing in a couple of different characters. Here's a few highlights of what they were able to do last year against the Townsville Fire. And in the end, they won the grand final quite comfortably, making their way through. And the Townsville Fire had to go on the Cinderella run from the lower portions of the ladder.
Well, I mean, that was an exciting grand final, and we can see Beck Cole just was so pumped about that and the way, and now we see the celebrations, and it was such a unique season, being in the hub, being up in Queensland, being away from all your fans, and it was so condensed. There were game after game, and you know, players loved it, mind you, but how exciting for the Flyers to go through and win a season like that.
What was your biggest takeaway out of today? So an 11-point win for the Flyers. Sum it all up for us.
Well, to me, the Flyers haven't taken a backward step. Yes, they've had a change in their roster, but you know what? They looked very impressive. They would have to be one of the favourites amongst a few other teams, but they looked good. Even score, even spread, lots of ball movement, lots of spreading of roles in that, and we talked about their depth very early on, so really impressive, really exciting for them.
Biggest challenger for the Southside Flyers? Little season prediction here. We will hold you to this, of course, as the season progresses. Who's their biggest challenger from going back to back?
Well, I think that there's two teams. I think the Perth Wildcats, especially if, you know, there's a little bit of a whisper of Sammy Whitcomb. If she comes back, they would be outright favourites in my terms. And the Melbourne Boomers. I think they've kept their core group together. They've got a bit more height. So I put those three teams right up there.
Yeah, the Lynx would be nice, wouldn't it, to see the Perth team sort of make a little bit of return up the ladder after last year. That's it. That's all we've got time for today.